All right, welcome in everybody. It is Monday night. It's 2024, but it sure feels like 2022, Daniel. You know, in
I,
May of
I don't know if we
2022,
want to go back there.
no, but I mean, it feels reminiscent because in May of 2022, I look back, we had a guy by the name of Trey Lipscomb, Drew Gilbert on this show 2 years ago, and here we are. We're back in Knoxville talking to somebody from the number one Tennessee Volunteers baseball team. Tonight we got on our man Kavares Tears, aka KT. How are we doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. I can't complain.
Yeah, I mean, when you're swinging the bat the way you are, when your team is playing the way y'all are, I mean, nothing to complain about. You told me you had an easy day, which I imagine, when you have a good weekend, coach is always going to give you a little easier Monday than if you lost this weekend. So, but before we get into your story, we talk Tennessee baseball. We got to break the ice. First, I don't know if you're into it or not. I've been trying to do my best to keep up with it. We are from Memphis. The Grizzlies are out of it. I'm a Westbrook guy. He's kind of not relevant anymore. And so I've been trying to be into the NBA playoffs. Have you been in it at all? And if so, who are you rooting for?
I haven't really watched too much basketball, but I will say I've always been a LeBron James fan, and I always will be. And I do know that his time is, starting to wind down a little bit. So every once in a while, I'll try to, if it's on the TV, I'll watch it a little bit. But
Yeah, I
Jim,
not
mean,
too big of
he
a NBA fan myself.
he's too busy being the number one team in the nation.
I will say this, Daniel, to his point, every athlete that talks about basketball in here, usually for the most part, talks about LeBron. Regardless of how good the Lakers may or may not have been, it definitely hurt the NBA for them to go out in the first round. Because you just got so many people who love to watch LeBron. And so, to KT's point, he might have a night where he ain't got nothing going on. He's flipping the channel and say, oh, LeBron's on. But now he
Yeah,
flipped and he sees OKC Denver's on. He's like, keep it moving. You know what I mean? So, all right. This next topic they've been talking about on the radio all day. I need you, man. Look, I turned 40 in a month.
The
All
streets
right.
would have had me hiding out in a small town. My Montreal connects stand up, not fall down. The ones that you get in your stories from, they all clowns. I am a war general, seasoned in preparation. My jacket is
He knew where I was going. Look, that's what happens when he looks at my notes. He knew where I was going with this. You look. I am out of look. I'm from a Tupac and Biggie era when it comes to rap beefs. They talking about Kendrick and Drake all day. I don't know anything about what they're talking about. KT, do you know?
I don't know the whole story, but I do know that. Uh, originally I heard it was over like a female. I'm pretty sure, and then it
Ain't that
kind of
how all battles are?
just about honestly, but I think it spread into something bigger. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to take Drake. He's been one of my favorite artists since I was a kid.
See, that's what's funny, man. I'm glad you said that because I love Drake and I've been listening to all these people talking about Kendrick, Kendrick, Kendrick. And for me, I like both artists, but while I may not be big into the game, I know what my workout playlist has, and it's got a lot of Drake in it. And so
Absolutely.
I'm with you, but supposedly it's a big deal. They're making, from what I understand, they're making good music and they're making money. So that, I mean, that's what this business is ultimately about. So shout out to them for doing what they do. I'm just, hey, I'll take that over KT. Me and Daniel, we've had so many guys come on here talking Morgan Wallen. Half of them are your teammates. Man, I don't want to talk about Morgan Wallen ever again in my life. Daniel, you agree?
Yeah, what kind of diss track is Morgan Wallen dropping?
I don't know. Him and what's his name? Jelly Roll gonna go at each other.
Oh yeah.
That'd be the softest diss track ever.
All right, let's talk MLB. Do you get a chance? Daniel just talked about it. You're busier than ever, but you do play baseball. Do you get a chance to watch MLB at all?
Yeah, usually if I'm not watching Wills on YouTube, I'm usually watching like the highlights from every MLB game that night, or if it's on or somebody's playing, I'll sit there and watch the whole game.
Yeah, I bring it up to you because I seen a thing today. I just sent it to Daniel on Instagram. There have been 10 guys from the 2022 MLB draft class that have made it up to the big leagues. Three of them are from Tennessee. They are your teammates, so 30%. So, like, I mean, and that's just a start, right? You know this. It's going to be more than three. How cool is it to know that you can possibly flip on the TV and see a dude that you shared the field with on the big stage?
I think it's Trey is a little different for me personally because he was my roommate my freshman year, and so I was me and him got really close his last year here, and so it's kind of you know I don't know, I guess you could say emotional in a kind of way. Whenever I watch him play up there in the big leagues.
Yeah, no, I'm so proud of Trey because Trey came on here, as you know, you were his roommate. Like, I mean, he sat and waited his time. He waited till his senior year to get his chance, and to see him grind, to have the patience, put in the hard work, and then it's not necessarily a competition between him and his teammates, but it is a competition in the sense you want to get to the show for everybody else. And so for him, all those same guys he sat behind and waited his time to get to the show before all of them, it's pretty poetic. But I'll ask you if you could go see, you've talked about what you have time for, but if you could go see any athlete or sports team, anywhere, who are you going to see? Where are you going to see him? Are you going to see Trey, or are we going, where are we going?
Tough one. Um, I probably would have to go see Trey. Um, just because of me and his relationship that we've built over the years. But I mean, I guess if you can go like some big superstar, definitely would be LeBron in a heartbeat.
Yeah, this question obviously isn't for me. I never usually answer it, but being what you just said, I was texting with Skeens the other day, and me and Daniel have talked about going to MLB stadiums. And PNC Park, it's kind of interesting, right? Because the Pirates, stink, but they have what's ranked as the number one baseball park in America, and so I want to go there. And I told Paul, I said, you get called up, like, man, I'll find a way to go there just because I've always wanted to go to that stadium anyway and watch you pitch. So, to double down on what you said, like, I'm trying to go see somebody I know on that stage. When it comes to NBA, we get to see LeBron here in Memphis, when he comes each and every year. So I don't know, for me, you know what I think I want to do, man? Like, I want to go to one of those big soccer stadiums in Europe where there's like 250,000 people going crazy. I don't even
Yeah.
care who's playing. Like, I just want to be in that atmosphere and feel that vibe.
I heard those fans are insane.
They be brawling in the street over that. Like, it gets real, man. If your team is on the wrong end,
That's all they
but
do. They got a bunch of chants and all kinds of stuff, man. What I think's funny, KT, is Jim mentioned the Pirates being terrible, and guess whose team is worse than the Pirates? Our
ours.
team, the Cardinals. Cardinals are some hot garbage.
We got all the rings though, man. We'll be all right.
I mean, I I don't care about yesterday. I care about the now. Like, what have you done for me lately? And I could tell you what they've done for us lately. Not a whole lot.
Not
Got
a
to
whole lot.
paying a
Well,
lot of dues to do a little bit of work.
the
But
good news is this episode ain't about St. Louis, so I can move right past the fact that you did that. But this is my last thing, and we're gonna get into your story. Coming back around to music. If you could go see any music artist anywhere, man, there's got to be somebody that you really want to go see. And you basically, people always say, what do you mean by where I want to go see them? There's maybe a city you haven't been to that you want to go to. That's where I would couple, the artists I want to go see. So who are you going to see? Where are you going to see them?
It would have to be Luke Combs and at the Red Rocks.
Hey, he knows his venues because he dropped out Red Rock, Daniel.
Luke
Yeah.
Combs at the Red
But I
Rocks.
like
I
that,
mean,
because Luke Holmes is, to me, is so much better than Morgan Wallen. If you're a country person, it's not even close to me.
Now I gotta give respect to Morgan Wallen too, but I guess it was just I've grown up on not grown up, but I guess when I first started listening to country music, it was Luke Combs, and he's been my guy ever since.
hey,
So I was
as
right before COVID. I was actually supposed to go to his concert in Nashville, and probably like a month before the concert, COVID happened, and I just never got to go.
Oh man, well,
So I got to make that.
yeah, you got to get that made up for sure. That's a
Yeah.
that's a terrible story there.
I'm surprised he doesn't come to Knoxville or at least Nashville. Like I feel like that's like a easy spot where you could catch him. So
Well, he lives. I mean, he really doesn't live that far away from where I live, or where I'm from. But I mean, he's right there, right around Nashville.
The best country concert I have went and seen was Kenny Chesney like 20 years ago on Knoxville's campus. It was cool, man. I was, at the time 17, so it was cool just to be in a college like atmosphere.
Yeah.
And he was a big Tennessee fan, so of course he had the jersey on and everything. That was a really really cool atmosphere when you can be at a college campus for a musical artist like that. It's pretty tight.
Well, Zach Bryan's coming to perform at TVA on Thursday, so I'm
Somebody
sure.
better be taking care of my man KT. Make sure you got tickets.
yep, this is the disclaimer for everybody listening.
No, we're gonna be gone. We're gonna be gone.
Well, then
That's the day we go
you
to the band.
Look, you and Tony
everybody
V stay
send
and
them on
watch the show,
Twitter.
catch a private jet late. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Tony V's got to know some folks, right? I feel like
He
that's that.
probably he might.
So
I
I
don't
feel
think
like
I
there's
Look,
not a
Daniel,
guy
he
he
still
don't know.
he still ain't texted me since I reminded him that Charlie Condon said he would have went to Tennessee if he got offered anything. He didn't like that.
Uh,
I might
have
Yeah,
you
be I
seen
might be
have
in
you
it.
seen what Charlie Condon's doing?
Well,
I
look,
wouldn't like that either.
I actually wasn't trying to be rude. I just watched that clip back and I sent it to him and I was like, man, it's crazy if you just offer anything. And he was like, man, I've had a 14-hour day that's been trash. And then I get this message from you. And I was like, damn, I step into one.
Yeah, bro. Can't be doing that.
I
Gotta
know.
throw
yeah,
it back.
I gotta be better, Daniel.
All
yeah. I
right,
don't know about that one.
Kavares, here we go. We got to get into it, man. Tell me about home. Where is home for you?
So I'm from Lewisburg, Tennessee, which is about an hour south of Nashville, probably like 15 minutes from like the Tennessee Alabama line. Um, from Lewisburg, went to school in Columbia, which is about 20 minutes away. From seventh grade all the way up until I graduated.
Well, before you get there, we gotta know, hold on, we gotta dissect what we can do in Lewisburg, Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, I if I was to go to Lewisburg, what would you tell me that I need to see, do, hear, touch, taste, feel? Like what is it?
Um, I would say the biggest thing, if you did come to Lewisburg, would be probably like my uncle's like catfish, like trying that.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
Daniel, I like that. He gave us a personal touch. He didn't give us the
Yeah.
some restaurant. He said it's uncle's.
I mean,
Well, there ain't
I
too many
like
restaurants in my hometown as it is, but there's a
I
lot of
like
home cooked.
I like fried catfish with some hot sauce now.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. So, you mentioned some family. So let's get into it. You got brothers, sisters, mom, dad.
Yeah, I got two older brothers, one younger, both parents, and then I honestly cannot tell you how many aunts and uncles I have, but I got a pretty big family.
So where does Dante Hightower fall in line there and Jason Maxwell? Because I mean, we're talking
So,
about, Patriots linebacker and Minnesota Twin and Chicago Cub player. Like that's good company, man. Where do they fall in the family tree?
so Dante he's on my mom's side of the family, and I'm pretty sure he's my second cousin, I think. And then Jason Maxwell's on my dad's side of the family.
Right?
So that's why he's so athletic, Daniel. Let's come in both sides.
I mean, can you just let me have a little bit? Just a little bit. I mean, just an inch of height and maybe like I don't need to run a 4.40, but maybe like a 4.9. That would be nice.
Can
Hey,
I get
I'm still
can I
looking
get to
for a
six
couple more
foot?
inches in height too,
But
Tell them.
hey, I seen you run. You okay? Okay. I mean, you don't need anything else. I don't
Yeah,
want to.
you good. You good. We've seen it. So, two older brothers, what's the age difference between you and them?
Well, their birthdays actually, both their birthdays are next month. So they're about to be 30 and then 28, and then I'm 21, and then my youngest brother is 14.
So what's that like growing up? Obviously, there's a various, age range there. Was there a lot of closeness or was it like one kids moving out of one, life phase into the next while the other one's moving into it, or you guys are still pretty close, still fighting, arguing, and tough brotherly love as you grow up?
I guess when we were younger, for a while, I mean, I was the youngest one, so there was a lot of the fighting and arguing, and then them being older than me, always wanted to, go do what they were doing, and then playing football with all the older kids and stuff. But then right when my younger brother was born, both of my older brothers were getting ready to kind of go on to the next phase of their lives. So as that kind of we transitioned into that phase, it was kind of more of like more brotherly love, not so much arguing and fighting and stuff. So I guess I kind of got the both ends of it. But my little brother, he probably just got the more like loving side, I guess.
You were like, look here, man, this is how it's going down. I'm not saying life is going to be hard, but I'm going to give out everything that I just got for the past year. So get ready.
Here's what's gonna
Now,
happen.
Yeah,
The way it's gone for
I was
younger siblings, in a few years, we're gonna have his little brother on because he's gonna be a superior athlete because KT pushed him.
I
hey,
mean,
he's got all the potential in the world too.
so tell me about growing up. Any inspirations? Obviously, you're an athlete. Anybody pushing you to get into athletics, or anybody on TV, athletes that you tried to, mirror?
I mean, at a young age, it was always my older brothers. Um, so I'd see them playing football, and even before I was old enough to, I wanted to go play football. So I'd have like my own practice and stuff at home. And then once I started playing, for a while, it was really just I was like really my main focus was football because my older brothers played football, and then started growing up a little bit and started leaning a little bit towards baseball. And my oldest brothers, I think they both could have played in the college football, but they decided not to, and then I just stuck with baseball.
I mean, it paid off. You mentioned going to Columbia. At Columbia Academy, you're a record holder for home runs. You're two-time Mr. Baseball Tennessee finalist in 2019, 2021. In 2021, you were TSWA Division 2A All-State selection, 2019 Class A All-State selection. You hit 446, 50 hits, 11 homers, 52 RBIs, 7-2 record on the mound, 88 strikeouts, 43 innings pitched. As a senior, like, was there anything that you couldn't do? I mean, we talked about sprinkling a little bit over here, but man, like, not only were you playing football, but you were like, all right, I'm going to stop that. Now I'm going to concentrate on baseball. And that was a mistake for everybody playing with you because, like, you're now all state selection. You're now 7-2 on the mound. You're now 88 strikeouts, 50 hits, 11 home runs. Like, I gotta ask, man, with dominant stats like that, what was the competition level like? Because it seems like it was a cakewalk, but I played Tennessee high school baseball and I know the level of talent. So, being at Columbia, what was the level of talent and competition that you faced on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, for my own school specifically, I mean, it was definitely competitive. When we started playing other teams, like my freshman and sophomore year, I'll be honest, it wasn't the best competition that we had played. But my senior year, we moved to a different division where we were kind of playing like all private schools, and I mean that was actually some really good competition. Probably every Monday or Tuesday, which were our district games, where we were facing somebody that was coming to Tennessee or going to Alabama or going to Vanderbilt or somewhere like that. So my senior year, we definitely started to see a lot better competition.
Well, not only did you get it done on a diamond, but guess what? You got after it in the classroom too. You graduated cum laude from Columbia Academy. Um, we ask athletes all the time, did you go to school for school and athletics, or did you go to school just to be an athlete? And a lot of them, like, looking back on it, are like, yeah, I went because I just wanted to play. Like, I knew I had to make grades and stuff to be eligible to play, but like, really, my sole focus was waking up and going and playing whatever sport that they played. But for you, like, given, what you graduated with, why were academics so important to you?
Growing up, my mom was, she was really big on academics. Like I was never allowed to bring in any CDs or report card or anything, or I'd have like I'd be grounded or something. Once I got to high school, and it was kind of up to me to keep my grades up, and then I kind of started to notice how competitive I was, I guess, and like I just didn't want anybody on my team to have better grades than me, or anybody that I knew to have better grades than me. So I just kind of looked at it as a competition.
So mom said, look
But
here,
at the
don't you be
same time, knowing, you hear me?
Yeah, say that again. I'm gonna have to edit it. Same time, what?
Oh yeah, I was something come out cut out, but at the same time, I was still kind of there for athletics too. Like that was always something that I was working on after school or after practice, as opposed to studying or anything.
Well, it seemed like mom laid the hammer down. She said, "Don't you bring no C's up in this house. Let's start there, and then if you can do that, then athletics, you go do your thing." But it looks like you really excelled in both the classroom and on the field, which I tip my hat to you. It's not easy being elite level athlete, doing the training, doing the practices, late nights, and then turn around and getting it done in the classroom too. But obviously that prepared you for what was next. But on top of the high school at Columbia, um, you had club ball for Ohio Pro Select. You know what what was it about Ohio Pro Select or Columbia Academy that drew colleges to you, and when did they start reaching out to you?
Um, Honestly, I kind of started to get college attention pretty early, even before I started playing with Team Ohio. I used to play for this team out of Nashville called Knights Baseball, and we actually came to Tennessee for like a fall scrimmage, and I hit a home run. I think I was 14 maybe, and I hit a home run um, backside, and then I like started talking to Coach V. I think this is like when he had just first gotten there, like he had only been there for like a month maybe. And so I started talking to him, and then I went to this PBR camp, and I mean I did pretty well. And other teams started to reach out. Yeah, going into my freshman year, they started to reach out, and then I just started going to some of the camps. Like my parents sat me down and were like, you can choose a couple of camp like schools that you really, really want to go to, like that are on your list, and we'll go. And so it was Tennessee, Vanderbilt, or not Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, and Louisville. So we went to the Louisville camp. I didn't really have the best, and it was snowing outside. I was not a fan of the snow. Um, and then we went to the Ole Miss camp, and I did pretty good there. I started talking to Ole Miss a little bit. Then we uh, came back to Tennessee. I met with Coach V again. I talked to him, and he was very genuine, which is still who he is now. And then I just decided, like I think this is where I wanted to be, and I think I made the right decision.
So outside of Coach V, did you fall in love with any one thing about the program, the culture, the winning, tradition, what they had established over a short amount of time? Or was it like, being from, Tennessee, like that was one of the radar schools where you like, if I got it the opportunity, I'm going there.
Uh, I will be honest, I had no clue at that age that Tennessee had a baseball team. Um, like I'd never seen the field or never heard of anything about them, like playing baseball wise. But I have heard of Coach V because I used to be, which is weird. He's my coach now. I used to be a big like Luke Bonfield fan, like when he was at Arkansas. And I remember Coach V was there, and they would talk about him. And so when he got hired there, I remember seeing it all like in the news and stuff. But I mean, at the time, they were never on my like on my radar. I didn't really think about them too much.
So when you first get to Knoxville, the question I always like asking, even Tony V asking the same question, you get to Rocky Top. Tennessee is one of the few schools that is an everything school. Every sport you can go watch, it is worth going to cheer for. So whether we're talking about football, basketball, softball, anything else in between, when you first get there, just how much fun was the culture? Did you go check out the sports and, just enjoy and living it up when you first got there in the fall?
Absolutely. I don't think I missed a single football game. If it was home, then if it was away, I was gonna find any way to watch it because I wanted to learn more about the culture. Like because I hadn't been there too many times. So I wanted to, kind of learn the culture and kind of learn the way of being a real ball. So definitely the first fall and then going into winter break, I was just at about any basketball or football game that I could get to.
So even though it was 2023, I gotta ask, skip ahead, what was it like at that Alabama game? Just how much fun did you have?
I had a lot of fun, but I got to be honest. I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I've been an Alabama football fan
Oh
since I was a kid.
no.
Yeah,
You did say Tennessee Alabama border. I did hear that.
but it's also because my cousin Dante went there. He played football there, and that was at the age where I started to watch more often and know what was going on. And I was like, I just want to be an Alabama fan, because of him.
Daniel, that
Uh,
is actually the ultimate pass. If there's ever a reason to give a pass for a Tennessee athlete who rooted for another school, when your family plays for the other school, that gives you the credentials to do it. Would you agree? I don't know where he's at, but I agree. Anyway, Daniel,
but
where
it
you
was,
No, I was just saying that's the one there's probably like two reasons, and that's one of the reasons why you can do that and it's okay.
but honestly though, like if we would have lost, if Tennessee would have lost, I still would have been, kind of upset. Because I will be honest, I don't follow them as much as I used to. But I try to watch if we're not playing. But I still got my balls right now.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's go into freshman year. You have the opportunity to redshirt during, in my personal opinion, the greatest regular season baseball team in college baseball history. What a time to be able to watch and learn. Like, some people would probably say, they wish they were in that lineup playing. But, the more we do this show, KT, we talk to guys who talk about the ability to learn, especially as a young guy. And so for you, I imagine, and I look at the success you now, it all goes back to that very first year where you got to watch that team full of veterans who we just talked about, guys getting drafted. How awesome was it to be able to watch that team and be able to learn from that team in redshirt?
It was special, and it's definitely something that I'll never forget. Um, originally or at first when I first got redshirted, I was thinking negative things like this is probably going to be like the worst year. But the leadership we had, the older guys sat me down and just talked to me about some of the stuff, and it made me view it differently. And honestly, if they wouldn't have done that, I would have never been able to learn, or wanted to learn, what I was, how college baseball works, So um, definitely Jordan Beck, because me and him were out there in right field every single day together. He showed me some things. He would, if I wasn't making the right reads or making the best routes, he'd get on to me a little bit. Then obviously Drew Gilbert he was a leader to everybody at almost any position. And then Trey, he was very, very helpful with more of the mental game. We would be at home, after games and stuff, and I would just kind of ask him a question like, "What were you thinking on this during this situation?" or whatever it may be. So that was definitely a beneficial year, and it's something that we us older guys now like me, Burke, Simo and Beam, since we were all there freshman year, we all try to implement some of the things that we were taught to some of the newer guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we see it translate into 2023. You play in 29 games, you batted 304. We see what you bring to the table defensively, right? Because a lot of those games you came in to lock it down defensively. You know, talking about that 2022 impact, but what was it like now in 2023? You're not the one watching, you're actually a part of it. What was it like for that transition, and just how much confidence did you have when you got out there?
Um, I definitely had a lot of confidence. That also was, I got to give Trey some credit for that. He always told me that once you're done redshirt and when you finally get your chance, like there should be no reason why you're not, the most confident person. You just went through the worst of it. So I kind of played with that attitude, and I just tried to make the most out of every opportunity I was given.
Yeah, so what I want to ask about that team, we had Tony V on here, and he talked about the 2023 team compared to the 2022 team struggled to find their identity, right? It took till later in the year. Obviously, once y'all found it, it resulted in going to Omaha. But as a player who was in the locker room, was around it, talk about that, right? Because 2022, we just talked about it, right? Everything seemed to flow right. But each year is different. It's unique. Even if it's got some of the same guys, Tony said each season they have to find themselves. And it took a little bit longer. So, what was it like being a part of that process, especially now that you're on the field playing? What was it about that season? It was a little bit different, it took a little bit longer, but ultimately, it resulted in, great things.
Yeah, I think some of it was leadership, and I'm not saying that we had bad leadership by any means, but coming from a team where we had, I think, three fifth years, two juniors,
Luke
three
was like a
seniors. We
12th
had
year.
guys, that had been there for a while. That yeah, yeah. So we had guys that had been in the leadership position for a while. Like this wasn't their first year, so they kind of knew exactly how to help the new guys and how to lead on and lead in the locker room. But that the 23 team, there was a lot of newer guys. We had Suey. He was a great leader. But I personally feel like you need leaders at different aspects of everything. When it you know, positional, I mean pitching, it was trying to be the leader, which is sometimes you don't really need that, to be honest. And once we kind of started to figure that out, that I guess we were just not the same as the 22 team. We kind of started to hit our own stride, and definitely being on the road helped a little bit. We were able to hang out more with each other, being in hotels and everything. So kind of once we started to do that, we kind of to realize that that we aren't who everybody wants us to be, which was comparing us to the year before that. So once we did that, and we just find out who we were, we were on board.
Yeah, so I really want to get into this year, but I do have one more question because I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. Every kid's dream is to go to Omaha. Obviously, you didn't come home with the championship, but you did get to go there. You did get to play on that stage. You did get a win there. What was like, being there in Omaha and getting to be on that stage and play, for 3 games?
It was something that I dreamed of since I was a kid. Some of the moments and some of the walking out on the field the first time and seeing all the fans there. That was just something that I would never forget. And honestly, it just kind of makes you want to, it motivates you even more to want to be there, play more games there. So that's definitely our goal for this season.
Yeah, so let's get into it, man. This is the part that everybody wants to hear. Obviously, everybody wants to hear your story, but right now, when you're the number one team, everybody wants to talk about right now. And today the poll came out. Y'all have been number one in our poll for 2 weeks, and it's about time everybody got on board with what IOTB's got going on. Me and Daniel, we're ahead of the curve, but you're number one in everybody's poll. What is the pulse right now, right? Because if I know anything about you guys and Tony V's team, that means nothing to you guys, right? Like, okay, that's cool. There's a number one next to our name, but we got to stay motivated. We got to stay hungry. This week we got Vandy on deck, who is our rival and is reeling, right? They just came off a very bad weekend. So what's the pulse? Talk to me about what's being said.
I mean, nothing's really been said, about the whole ranking thing. I personally didn't find out about it till I got into the field, like later in the day. I didn't know we were number one. I didn't know what we had been ranked at all. I think that's just, how the whole team is. We don't, really pay too much attention to that. And, we're talking about Vandy this upcoming weekend, but we have a game tomorrow against Queens that, we, that's what we're looking at first instead of, trying to skip over them and then just look straight to Vandy.
Yeah, you got to focus on midweek because y'all lost your first one of the year last week. So now got to get it back to it. It was easy money for y'all, but let's talk about your stats this year. Batting 354, 14 home runs, 37 RBIs, just absolutely killing it. You're a part of the best lineup in the country, but is this one of those things with, just experience being in the weight room or, what is the reason for, I mean, we're talking about a significant increase in batting average, but obviously the power numbers, what's the reason for you to have such success this year coming off last year? Is it just experience and growth?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is experience. I would say I was a lot less disciplined, in the box this, last season. But a lot of it was also like I didn't really know 100% what I was getting myself into. But then this summer and then all of this fall, like I made it a point to, try to understand the strike zone. Um, I worked with some of our teammates and Coach E on, just some minor swing adjustments. But for the most part, honestly, it was all just about, maturing in the box. Um, in the past, it was just like, I was dead red on one pitch, and if it wasn't that pitch, then I just wasn't really going to be close to it at all. Kind of just up there with no real plan. So that was the biggest thing that I worked on this fall was understanding the strike zone, areas in the strike zone that I need to work on, things that I'm already pretty good at, or like my heat maps and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I think that was the biggest thing that has kind of helped me this season so far.
Yeah. So look, I got this so people can see. So I have the batting lineup cards for every team in the SEC, and I bring it up because I can look at these things all day, KG, and it's no bias here. And I'm an LSU fan. Nobody has a better lineup card, top to bottom, 1 through 9, than Tennessee. Just how cool is it when on your team the guys running, even guys pitch hitting. We're not even talking about 1 through 9. We're talking about 1 through 15. How cool
Yeah,
is it being in a lineup where everybody can rake?
it's awesome. I think that also just gives you confidence, and then it gives confidence, gives me confidence, and whoever bats behind me or is batting in front of me, all the way down through the lineup. So even if we're behind in a game, there's never like I don't know about this one. Like it's always just full confidence. So I think that is definitely something special right there. And then even if Coach V wants to, somebody wants to pinch hit or anything, it's still, I mean, it's just the same. Like he very well should be in the lineup just as much as stuff like that. So I think it's all just gives everybody confidence. We never feel like we're really out of a game until the game's over.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the thing we were talking about with Trey, right? Waiting your time. We've seen it with you, all these guys, right? Like everybody's going to get some AB, some pitch hits, but you're going to get your time, right? It's the beauty of having a team that's so deep, and eventually it'll pay off. Just hang tight, put in work, and you're going to get your chance to step up to the plate. But yeah, it's just so deep, and you talked about the midweek game, but I'm gonna come back around to Vandy, um, we've had so many guys, right? I think back to Evan Russell specifically. He said the biggest game of his career was the 3 home runs against Vandy because that is the rival. He is from the state of Tennessee. You're from the state of Tennessee. It's got to be meaningful for you, especially like I said, they're reeling, right? You have a chance to basically, I hate to put it this way, but y'all have a chance to put your foot on their throat. That's gotta feel good, when you're talking about a hated rivalry. We could try to play it nice, but there ain't nothing nice between Tennessee and Vandy. So, let's say you get the midweek game moving past, just how excited is it for the opportunity to go into their house and possibly make a statement as the number one team and hopefully put them in a really bad position?
It's really exciting. Going there and only being, 45, 50 minutes from my house, uh, which gives, some of my family that, don't really get to see me play often, that gives them a chance to come and watch. So I think it definitely will be a special weekend, regardless of the outcome. But I do know that we will go down there and, give it everything we got.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I will see y'all next weekend. I'm going to go to Lindsey Nelson for the first time this year when y'all host South Carolina. I set it up that way on purpose. I was hoping that y'all would be playing for a division title, and if everything goes well against Vandy, y'all in fact will be. I'll have my Billy Barrel shirt. Shout out to the athletic collection. It came in the mail today. I'll also see you guys in Hoover, but I'm gonna let Daniel play a game with you. But KT, I just want to tell you, wish you nothing but the best of luck. And I can't wait to meet you in person and finally be in Knoxville to watch you guys, not just on TV, but in person and feel that environment and get that vibe.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, KT, it's time to get down to the nitty gritty, my man. It's time to play a game that 300 athletes have played. You down to play this or that with us?
Absolutely.
All right, it's very simple. I'm going to make it easy on you. I give you two options. All you got to do is pick one option or the other. Can't say both, can't say neither. Just be decisive. Go with your heart, go with your gut, whatever it takes. Just pick one. All right.
Gotcha.
All right. Jim, who's this or that brought to you by?
Chinook Cedary, 8 flavors, mild to wild, the best in the game. And Daniel, amazing this week. I know we're on a Tennessee episode, but I was in Starkville and I had the Mississippi State players come to me and say, "Hey, you got any of them seeds?" That means Chinook Cedary is doing its thing because you got players fiending for them seeds. And I know that Tennessee knows because I have them in the dugout. And I will throw out there, Daniel, use code BEAM32 for Drew Beam if you go out there and order them seeds. Chinook Cedar Ambassador.
Yep. Go online, Beam 32, get your seeds, get it. I mean, every flavor because you're not going to go wrong with any flavor. I'm not a fan of dill pickle, but I will say there are a lot
Well,
of
let's talk
people.
about that package I sent you. You like that coating? Tell
You got
KT what
jokes.
happened.
You got jokes. So Jim's FedExes me or UPS's me a nice little box of like some swag. But he knows like out of all the Chinook seeds, dill pickle, I'm just not a fan of. I don't like pickles anyways. So he thought it
Yeah.
would be funny to fill the top layer of my box with nothing but dill pickle sunflower seeds. So like I had to figure out quick. Luckily, there's some people that I know that are big fans of dill pickle, so I was able to get them hooked up. But yeah, like smoky barbecue, smokehouse barbecue, cinnamon toast, mix them together. That's my favorite combo. Or if I'm just gonna have seeds all day, I'm gonna go smokehouse barbecue because that's my jam.
Daniel, you need to, you haven't done a combination in a while. You need to do a trio. I need to see a live trio.
Trio. That's a lot of flavor.
Hey,
That's a
that's
lot going
that's what
on.
the people want. KT says that's what he would want. He wants a trio.
See, that's actually
Let's
good
do it.
marketing on our part for the seeds because now instead of forcing people to buy just one bag or two, now we're forcing them to buy three because they got to get that tri flavor combo. Okay. Let me see what I can do over the next couple weeks. I'll brainstorm one and figure it out. But it's got to be a good one.
You won't have dill pickle.
It
I'm
might
thinking,
though.
look,
It might though.
look, hear me out. All right. It's gotta be barbecue, Parmesan pepper, and hash chalet because they're the top three flavors. If you're gonna try three together, it's gotta be the top three sellers.
See, I was thinking more in the lines of, all right, what goes together? So like if most people have like a burger, you might have a little smokehouse barbecue, they might have a little dill pickle, and they might have a little something else. So like that's
Parmesan
kind of
pepper.
along the lines of what I'm thinking. So maybe I'll like I said, I'll brainstorm and I'll come up with something good. But it's time for the game. I'm going to come out of the gate swinging. Would you rather grill out or would you rather go out to eat?
Um, I'd rather go out.
Well, where are you going? If you could go to one spot, eh, price doesn't matter, and you're like, man,
Price
that's
doesn't
where I'm
matter.
going. No, price don't matter. Where are you going?
Probably Bazerios.
All right, what's your meal? Like if you're going there, what you getting?
No, so they have this. It's kind of like a buffet, but they bring the food to you, and it's just different types of steak and chicken and everything.
This is in
Like a
Knoxville.
Yeah,
All right, bet.
like
Writing
a
it down. I'll be there
yeah.
in a week and a half. I'm doing it.
like a Brazilian, Argentinian
That's what it
steakhouse,
sounds like.
man.
Yeah, but if
Yeah,
But
KT
yeah, it's the
recommending
Brazilian
it,
steak.
yeah,
Say
let's
what?
go.
if I go, you coming with me, KT. If that's your spot, hey, what? I mean, it's on in off the bench. Let's go.
All right, I'm down.
There you go.
For sure. You never turn that down. What if you're a baller on a budget, like, and you're gonna go out to eat just for the cheap? Where are you going?
Um, Being cheap, I would definitely say Zaxby's just because that's what I used to eat almost every day when I was in high school. And I could eat it now, but I gotta stay away from it.
I don't think I've heard good things about Zaxby's, but I don't think I've ever been to one.
It's
So,
it's some good food.
so
Don't
Daniel,
recall.
interesting. You say that, KT, where I live on Getwell Road, half a mile from my house, you have a Chick-fil-A, and then you go across the street like Caddy Corner, it's a Zaxby's, and then you come across it's Slim Chickens. Like you pick what
Wow.
your chicken spot is, and they're all good. There's no wrong choice, but I mean, all we need is one more chicken spot, and like I mean, we all getting fat over here on chicken because we already got them, but there isn't. I don't feel like there really is a wrong choice. What's funny, KT, is what the decider is for my son. He likes Zaxby's because of the bread, the toast, right?
Yes.
The chicken's the same to
Yes.
him. He wants the toast.
Yes.
Who
Yes.
who goes to a
That's
chicken
probably.
spot
He
for
just he
the
just gave the
toast?
head nod, Daniel. The toast
Oh,
he
it's good. It's good, and it's not like super greasy. Like it's not
You
that bad at all.
Daniel, if
It's
you
really
got
good.
chicken that's basically the same, the toast matters, man.
look, bro, you can't like if I've never been to Zaxby's, you're not gonna talk me into going because of the toast.
I'm
You
trying to
better
tell you,
say
but
something about the chicken.
because Raising Cane's to me has the better chicken, but its toast is weak. Now, Raising Cane sauce is the best to me of all of them. We could probably line up the Tennessee baseball team, Daniel, and probably had the most fun day if we brought the three that we were just talking about plus Raising Cane's and just had a chicken contest because they're all fire.
I mean, I would like to put on a in off the bench hot wing eating contest
Well, now you done with the hot wings. That's a whole different thing.
sponsored
Yeah.
by whoever. Like whoever wants to do it. Let's go.
We
I'm
don't have a
down.
we don't have a hot wing sauce spot. I don't know. Hot Rods might be able to figure it. You know what? Making a call.
See what we got. All right, fast car or luxury car?
Probably not a luxury car.
Nice little luxury car. I got you.
Yeah.
Would you rather trip and fall in public or pass gas?
Uh, Probably. mm, I don't know. I think I'd have to go trip and fall.
Oh no, you're
I
an
don't.
elite athlete. That's
I don't know.
unacceptable.
I don't know. I don't think I could like just pass gas and like in front of
All your
random people.
athleticism's out the window. You trip and fall in front of me.
Yeah, I mean you can't even blame that on the what you gonna do? Look down at the floor and be like, oh man, that piece
No,
of
you just say like
tile just
you
jumped
just
up
say
and
like
got me.
no. If you're in front of a stranger, you can just be like I just gotta practice. My feet are tired.
I got out of practice.
Something.
He's probably
Just
like,
say something.
what you practicing? Need to be
Bro, hey, look,
practicing
Daniel.
walking.
Daniel, something has happened since the last time we asked this question.
Uh-huh.
I was walking at the mall and I went to go down the steps and I was very millennial-ish and texting on my phone and not looking at the steps. I swear to God, if it wasn't for the rail and me catching it, I was fixing to tumble down 25 steps.
Mm,
That's
that
crazy.
would have been
My daughter was with me. She's 17. You want to talk about being embarrassed. she would have been the more embarrassed one. She'd been like, "Damn, that's my dad." She'd have walked off and been like, she didn't know me.
Did did she know that you almost fell?
No, she wasn't looking, thank God. But
Oh,
man, I'm telling you, it was straight up because I wasn't looking and I was texting on my phone.
all right. Talking uniforms. Would you rather wear the smoky grays or the blacks?
Gotta go with the
The
blacks.
hardest question in college baseball.
I mean, both of those uniforms are sick. And
So
I
sick.
mean, if you went
I
smoky grays
used
over
to
blacks, I'd be, yeah. If you go blacks, like you said, I'm like, yeah, I like them both.
I used to think the grays over the blacks, but I'm starting to really like the black uniforms now.
You must have had a good game or something in it, something that was like, yeah, these feel good. I just look good. I feel good. And I had an amazing game in this. I need to wear these all the time.
I just think that I don't know when you put on the black like uniform, you just feel more like a villain, I guess.
To me, Daniel, there's only two teams that don't have an ugly uniform in their kit. Because even teams that have elite uniforms, there's at least one uniform I don't like. Tennessee and North Carolina do not have an ugly uniform in their kit. Like you can roll all of them, and that to me that sets the two of them apart from everybody else.
We talked about it. Memphis doesn't have ugly uniforms. I don't think they have as many like outside the box combinations as some of the others, but like they're pretty solid.
Yeah,
They're
no,
pretty
no.
solid.
Memphis is definitely tight, and I mean Nike, look, let me tell you, Nike schools set themselves apart within themselves, right? You can kind of see it when you look and see certain ones that aren't as good, and then you see that Adidas next to it. It's like, okay, it makes sense.
Yep. All right. Sports radio or sports podcasts? What you listening to?
Podcast.
Yeah, let's go. That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
Well, it's
All
funny,
right.
Daniel. I got to cut in one more time. I know I'm super talking tonight. Today was a podcast day. The radio was exactly what I started the episode off with KT. They would not stop talking about this rat beef, and we talked about it, right? Don't beat a dead horse. There's a morning show, there's the afternoon show, there's a late afternoon show, all talking about the same thing. Man,
Yeah.
need a new topic.
What they need to be talking about on sports radio is Memphis basketball because they need to figure some stuff out.
They said David Jones is now said what you said. If he looks good in his NBA little tryout, he not coming back to Memphis.
Why would he? That would be silly.
Well, we need him to come back to Memphis. We're gonna be relevant.
I agree, but I mean, I ain't trying to
Well,
tell
hey,
him not to go get
we
not to go
did
chase a
have some
dream.
we did have some mid AM pickups this past weekend. Penny is picking them up at 3 a.m.
Well, he better be because
I
his
bet I bet
job's on the
KT's a
line.
Penny fan. He's from the state of Tennessee.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really watched him that much, like growing up or anything.
Well, I mean, he's a little before your time, but the highlight reels, man, in the state. I mean, you could make it. I don't know him and what Houston, Allen Houston are probably the best players coming out of the state of Tennessee, in at least our lifetime, Daniel.
Oh yeah, definitely. For sure. All right. Would you rather hit a home run or rob a home run?
Hit home run.
Hit a home run. All right.
I'm waiting for somebody to say rob a home run. I didn't play baseball, but I don't know. Take it to
What's
somebody feels good.
what's harder to do? Hit a home run or rob a home
I gotta definitely say robbing a home run is a lot harder to do because I think I've only ever done it like 4 or 5 times, maybe like ever, and that's only been in like BP. So
run?
I mean, I don't think, I don't think robbing a home run is any easier than I think it's
Yeah,
way harder actually.
I think actually in a game when people are on base, there's a little bit more pressure. Like,
Yeah,
because at least in BP, like if you make a catch, cool, but like there's no penalty for not catching it. In a game, if you don't catch it, there's a
Well,
penalty,
did you
you
see
know?
the Pierre Seals from Memphis catch? He's their biggest home run hitter. He robbed it off top of the wall from Tulane. I need to ask him because he hits home runs on the regular. It looked pretty damn good. I would want to be a Sports Center #1 play personally.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't get me wrong. I think robbing a home run is probably one of the sickest things you can do defensively. But like Daniel said, a lot of the times the situation it kind of determines on if you should try to rob it or not.
yeah. I what I think is funny is in most, I would say most home runs that are robbed, I don't think they're actually home runs. I think they're guys that are like leaping into the wall at the track and like they don't necessarily have to leap, but they're just doing it because they think like they're closer to the wall than they are. Um,
KT, did you ever see the movie Little Big League?
I think so. Yeah.
Me and Daniel were talking about this, right? Ken Griffey was so legendary when we were a kid. It was the one movie where the villain actually robs the home run and takes away like the big moment from the story. And me and Daniel talked about it like when we had our movies episode. Like you didn't feel bad for like the main character of the story because it was Ken Griffey. It was like that's what he does. He literally climbed up on that wall and was like, Daniel, what do you say? He's like 3 feet above the wall.
yeah, I mean, but in Griffey's defense, during that time, we believed that he could do that
He did
because
do that.
he was the
Him and
man.
Jim Edmonds were elite at that.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Who wins the home run race? Christian Moore or Burke? Who's winning it?
Don't say both or neither as a rule.
Yep. They can't tie.
Uh,
In this scenario, they cannot tie.
this is tough. Before I give my answer, I'm gonna state why I think it could be both, even though I can't. So obviously we know SEMO. He's gonna probably keep going up, and then Burke goes through his spells where he'll just hit like six in a week out of nowhere. So I mean, I guess just as of right now, I might have to go SEMO just because I think he has 21 homers now. I'm pretty sure he does,
Well,
but
here's what I can tell you. In our Survivor game, those two guys have been pretty consistent for this whole year. They've had, I think both of them had one weekend where they were off, but they're in basically they're in the top five right now. And like
I mean,
if
that's why
you,
we do immunity. The one bad week Burke had, he just had to play his idol, and then he came back right and won it the next week because he had 4 bombs that week.
yep,
yeah,
same thing with Christian. It's he had a bad week, used an idol, and then regained it the very next week. So, um, we're let's talk Survivor real quick. Obviously, we have created a Survivor game. You're familiar with the game show Survivor, right?
yeah, a little bit.
All right, so basically, we started with 32 college baseball players that we've had on the show. Um, each week, we've eliminated, multiple, or now we're eliminating one a week. But either way, we've gotten down to the top five. From 32 down to five, we eliminate and vote out the person or persons with the worst statistical record for that week.
Mhm.
And last night, Jim can tell you we had the toughest conversation that we've had to have when it comes to voting people out
The
because,
craziest part was 2 LSU fans voted out the LSU guy. That's what's crazy. And he stayed.
yep. And
Wow.
you had a guy who beat the number one, Luke Holman beats the number one team in the nation with 10 strikeouts. And then you had Dakota Jordan who hit 300, had a home run, and what was he like four of
He
15
didn't
or
have a home
five of
run. He
15?
was he was six for
Oh,
15, but he
he had a
and three
double.
walks. But the Holman catch though was he had 6 walks and 3 earned runs.
See, that's why, my biggest thing was looking at the offense and what they had done to other teams because 6 walks on paper, yeah, you don't want to walk six guys, but sometimes you don't want to throw to guys. And so you walk them because you're protecting yourself and bringing up the next guy in the lineup or forcing the other team to do certain things. So um, what I will say is I think didn't he have three of the walks in one inning and was able to get
Right. He
out of
gave
it?
up he gave up 3 runs in the first inning and never gave up a run afterward.
I mean, that's something right there. And we, after inning one, we could have been like, oh, this is gonna be a long day.
But
So
I'm perfectly fine. That was what we wanted when it came to this game. We didn't want easy decisions.
Yeah.
so the question I have for you, KT, is we have Blake Burke and Christian Moore. Would you take one of them to win or the field, which is Charlie Condon, Luke Holman, Chase Burns? So it's do you think Blake Burke or Simo, or do you think Charlie Condon, Holman, or Burns will win?
I'm gonna ride with my boys.
I think you got to. That's the right
Yeah.
Here's
that's
the
the right
key to one
answer.
of them winning, though, Daniel. They need the other one to go home
Wow.
because here's the thing, KT.
No, 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 not necessarily.
We're not the ones who vote the winner. The players who competed are. And Tennessee had more contestants in this game than any other team. So if one of those guys is there and not two, I would assume they're going to vote for the boys. You get 5 votes off the top, Daniel.
True. And it'll get down to the final three, and then after conference tournament, the people who were voted out will choose. Um,
Here will be my question, Daniel, and KT can answer this too. Ethan Petrie came on, South Carolina guy, right, and said Charlie Condon's the winner in his book if he makes the final three. Do you think if he keeps playing the way he is, regardless of who plays for what team and loyalty, people will vote for him just because they have respect, regardless of what team?
if they didn't, they would be lying. And
Yeah.
I
I
I
think
I I think, KT can speak on it, but I think you have to respect a guy who's done what he's done. And if he makes it to the end and it's a who deserves it, like, yeah, the three people in there have made it in the game, but like he is hands down, like he
He's
hasn't had a
never even been
bad
in
week.
trouble. He's held two idols the whole game.
Yeah. Yeah. So last question, KT, and then we'll let you plug and promote some stuff and then get out of here. If I came to you, all right, this is serious. Let me put my serious voice on. All right. If I came to you, I said, KT, here's a suitcase full of crispy $100 bills to the sum of $10 million. I'll give you this briefcase, or I'll give you a national championship. Which would you take? The 10 million or a national championship?
national championship.
Are you sure? So you're fine. I want you to think
Yeah.
on it now.
No, national championship.
Okay. I you're saying what most people say. However, in my phase of life, I'll take the money all day. 10 million, I mean, I think in a hypothetical situation, I think it's really easy for you to say 10 mil or to say national championship. But if somebody put the cash right in front of you and it was there just to take, don't you think it would be a little bit more of thought and a little bit more difficult to pass up on it? Or do you think you could just be like, no, man, get that out of here?
I don't know. I feel like with the 10 million, it's like you didn't really do anything to get that, you know.
I know, right? That's the beauty.
But it's like,
Daniel, with 10
but
million,
with the national championship though, it's like we just spent a whole off season and going through this whole season. I feel like something would pay off, and it would be the national championship.
what will pay off? Daniel, KT, with that much money, I can get me the KT shirt in the cream, the smoky gray, and the black. I'm looking at it right now online, Daniel. I can get all of it, every color, sweatshirt, t-shirt, hoodie. That's what I could do with my 10 million. I could rep KT.
I mean, hey, you could
Hey, that's a
rep
good idea too.
you could rep KT every day. You could buy 365 of them bad boys and wear a different one every day.
It's
But
a tight shirt, Daniel. Okay, we got some sweet graphics on here.
let's go. I do respect that answer because you're right. When you work hard and you earn something, like it means more to you than when
Yeah,
somebody
feel
just gives
sweet.
it to you. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, man, been a good interview, man. Appreciate the time. Anything you want to
I
plug or
enjoyed
promote?
it.
Yeah, for sure. What you got out there? What are we plugging? What are we promoting?
Uh, True North headbands, custom KT headbands. I'm sure there's pictures. I typically wear them almost every game. You can go to truenorth.com/KT. Then also, as Jim was just talking about, the shirts on NILAthreads.com. Go get you a shirt and go get you a headband.
All right, so here's what we got.
We need to get him a poster at the athletic place. And look, you see Drew Beam and Christian Moore back there. I need KT back
I've
on my
actually been
wall.
I've been looking at those off and on again. Those are pretty
I
sick.
got you. Look, I got you. I'll
Got
get
you one.
Brent your info ASAP.
Where
Appreciate
can
it.
where can people follow you on social media? They want to know what you're
Uh,
up to. Where can they go?
Instagram, Kavares_Tears 23. Um, and then Twitter. I don't really get on there that much, but it's also Kavares
Pro-
underscore Tears 23.
Probably a good thing, man.
Yeah.
Some
I've seen some stuff on there and I was just like, yeah, I just need to leave it alone.
Don't follow
yeah,
me.
yeah. Just I gotta unfollow him every now and then.
I'm fighting with somebody every day. It might
Yeah,
be over you. I might be
yeah,
defending you. You just
yeah.
don't know.
Could be,
Well, hey,
could
I
be.
appreciate it.
So I'll recap it for everybody that wants to know. All right, truenorth.com/KT, custom KT at NILAthreads.com. Get the shirts, get the headbands, get it all. Support our guy. And if you want to know what he's up to, go on over to Instagram, Kavares_Tears 23. Or if you want to know what the Vol baseball team's up to, go to Instagram, Vol_baseball. You'll get highlights, you'll get pitching rotations, you'll get hype videos, you'll get it all, man. You really will. It's one of the best, I would say, Jim, you can probably agree to this. Tennessee does a really good job when it comes to anything digital and media related.
Top tier. Maybe
Top
number one.
tier. For sure, for sure. Also, this weekend, big series. Got Queens tomorrow, big game just to get you prepped
Yep,
for an even bigger series. You're traveling to Vanderbilt Friday night, 7 p.m. SEC Plus at Vanderbilt Saturday, 3 p.m. on the SEC Network. And then Mother's Day on Sunday, you got Vanderbilt 3 p.m. ESPN2. You can do it for mom on ESPN2. Look at you. Like
absolutely.
that's a big one. So three big ones. Who knows? You guys this time next week might find yourself number one in the East and number one in the country. Like that'd be the mission, right?
Yeah, the mission is just to win one game at a time, I guess you could say.
Their
See,
mission needs to be to
Tony
not lay
V's
an
taught
egg.
you well.
They better not lay an egg when I'm in Lindsey Nelson for the first time. That's all I'm saying.
Dang, I mean, I don't think that's the plan, but
Look, no, I'll be honest. Randy sent it to me earlier, Daniel. If there's ever a safe bet, it's going to watch Tennessee at home.
oh, for sure, for sure. All right,
Absolutely.
Kavares, we appreciate it, man. If there's anything we can do for you along the way, please reach out to us, man.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. Yes, KT, everybody. If you like hearing KT's story or you just like hearing us average Joes talk X's and O's, please like and share the podcast on Facebook, retweet us on X, listen and subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. That's Apple, that's Spotify, that's Anchor. I mean, it's everywhere. We're blowing up. As always, comments, ratings, feedback, thumbs up, hearts, hugs, love. We'll take it all. Going over to YouTube, check out the shorts, hit the subscribe button, get some notifications so that you know when we upload content because it's good stuff. Jim, you're crushing it, man. You're doing big things. The content is
400K, baby. Let's
steady.
go.
400K views. Here's the goal. We're almost halfway to a mill. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Mill by the end of Hoover. Put it on there.
All right. Let's do it. All right. That's it for this episode. We'll see everybody tomorrow night, we got Taylor Carr, Hernando baseball. Wednesday, we got Jamison Sears, Alabama gymnastics to end the week. Bunch of good episodes. We'll see y'all then. This has been the In Off the Bench podcast. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We are out.